Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League. I am Reed Rapid Melton. Joining me once again is Chris Studio Grant. And we're kind of switching things up with the casting and everything today. So hope you guys enjoy some of the new features of NACL, as well as now 100% of the games from NACL broadcast will be uploaded to our NACL YouTube channel. So if you want to head over to youtube.com/NACL Esports, you can check out every single game from the day from each day uploaded to that YouTube channel. I know it's been a popular request, so we're happy to deliver that to you. I want to thank all the people that are involved in working with that and all of you guys for watching. So a little bit of an update on that, but an update on our game as well, as we are now in Champion Select between LOL Pro and VVV. And after watching VVV, the new roster, well, it's the same roster, but with Chris now in the top lane, get snuggled in the jungle yesterday, that lineup just looks so strong. But going up against LOL Pro, a pretty strong team in their own right, but without a strong showing yesterday.
Yeah, this is actually a repeat from yesterday's game where LOL Pro, support Malphite. Don't go support Malphite.
I think there were a few other problems besides
I'm
just
focusing on the support Malphite. The support Malphite offended me. Like, it was cool, and it did not work out whatsoever, so they should not do it.
First, kind of.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird matchup, but regardless, VVV showed they can beat LOL Pro by beating LOL Pro. It's a pretty good way to show it, and what are they going to do for Vengeance now? Are they going to go for a normal game? I would expect standard play now after going for the gimmicky, fun, but not effective support Malphite. And I would expect, to standard play. We see LeBlanc already banned out by LOL Pro. Was going to be the Jackie mid pick. I would expect to actually Thresh as the first pick, as he did make it through picks and bans.
Yeah, exactly. And with Low, actually, locking on the Caitlyn. So giving that over to Lod, who I feel is actually a little bit of a better Jinx player, but maybe your time's kind of come and gone. Yeah, Vengeance, not one of the Vs in Vision, Valor, and Victory, but I think they're actually looking pretty good here. And like you said, Thresh, very highly contested pick. Low is going to give it up, and that means Chris just going to lock that one in for Gonti on VVV.
Yeah, VVV is getting the picks they want. I mean, Elise Thresh for your first picks is amazing. Ziggs already being locked in.
And they give... This is like a straight-up comfort pick lineup for LOL Pro. No wombo combos here. It's just straight-up Lod's good at Caitlyn, and then Jackie especially. His Ziggs, the level 1, level 2 play that Jackie does on Ziggs gets him first blood more games than I've seen any other first blood attempts that early. It's really impressive to watch that guy work, but he's going up against Peckinwolf's Nidalee. If you guys know guys like Bishu, maybe any of the other Nidalee mains out there as far as mid lane's concerned, Peckinwolf is one of the best, and you see that banned out against them more often than not, and hey, it's here, but that does mean we aren't going to see Nidalee top lane anymore.
Which, I mean, it was fun, but now we get the AP Spears. This is not about the split push Nidalee, but more about the just hit you once and kill you Nidalee, and that's actually relatively effective versus Ziggs, not so much in terms of killing him, but she can survive the early aggression because of the heal.
Don't do it, Hans. Okay, he's switching up to a okay. There's not going to be a Veigar. As much as I'd love to see Jackie's Veigar in play, it
would be either jungle or top 6. it would be very confusing. Could be support Ziggs, I guess.
Before.
This would actually be support Veigar if they picked it up, just because he has a stun and it is something silly and kind of effective, but not reliable.
All right.
And he's going to be the support. Yeah, this is a solid pickup. It's good initiation. You can follow that up with a Shyvana Dragon's Ascent, follow that up with Ziggs' everything pretty much. They have great ways to burst people down, and having that reliable initiation, even if it needs a flash, is still going to be really effective and really useful for LOL Pro.
All right, and so with the lineups locked in here, it's just up to that big last pick.
Who's the top laner going to be?
Exactly, and I mean, you could see a surprise put Nidalee up in the top lane, but Chris doesn't play Nidalee at all.
No, it could be. We saw Riven yesterday. We could see Riven again.
Yeah, you're going up against a
Shyvana.
Shyvana.
Quite well.
So, or Lee Sin. You can always switch that matchup up. So either you got Riven. You've got a wait. Does Chris play? It's a Trundle.
It's a Trundle. Trundle, a solid pick versus Shyvana. She built a lot of mitigation. And has high mitigation from her base stats.
Or you switch that Trundle to the jungle and put Elise top. That's something that Chris plays.
Elise could be effective. The issue is it's always mana constraints on Elise. And you can go for Athenes versus a Shyvana, but Elise just burns through so much mana so quickly now when she does lane top. Trundle will beat Shyvana. He can lane effectively versus her. The ultimate's incredibly strong because he will steal so much armor and magic resist. And really, he can deal with a lot of the BS she brings to the table in terms of tankiness and mitigation. So he can lane quite effectively versus her and set up Nidalee Spears. You toss out a pillar, toss out a spear.
Like, you
You're
only have so
slowed.
many
You're
places
stuck
to
there.
go.
You can't move,
Right.
and you can't move where you want to. Like, you could not move past a pillar anyways.
Especially if you're trying to like juke around a turret, all of a sudden
Yeah,
you can't
you are
do that
caught.
anymore. It's
So
like 2 turrets right
If
there.
Chris gets good pillar positioning, all of a sudden Pegawolf gets that much better. So that's a really cool composition. This was like the original poke comp, Nidalee and Trundle.
Yeah, and Trundle actually works really well against Shyvana because you get bonus stats when you go into Dragon's Ascent, and you steal even more armor and magic resistance away. But speaking of going away, we're going to go away to a quick commercial break. So don't go anywhere because we will have this game and a whole lot more coming your way. First, a quick shout out to our sponsors. You can see them right down below the screen. They are first Loot Crate. You can see the crate of loot down there, and for $13.37 a month, you too can have one of those delivered straight to your door. They don't look quite like that, but hey, it's a pretty accurate description nonetheless. You can check out all the cool Geek Gamer gear and goodies. Lots of G's there. By heading over to lootcrate.com, see what they have to offer. You can also see the Bird Jesus down there representing Phoenix Peripherals. If you guys are interested in some of the highest quality and most impeccably crafted gaming peripherals out there, you can head over to phoenixcollection.com and check out their wide array of mice, keyboards, mouse pads, and a brand new headset that looks pretty sexy. So head over to phoenixcollection.com and check out all of the action over there. And last but not least is LOL Class.
Yeah, and LOL Class will involve you and a small group of other students learning from your favorite LCS or Challenger pros. For example, I know we have the Odd One teaching a class on Thursday from one of his favorite jungle champions, and that's kind of the way it works. It's a small hour-long stream where you and a few other students will get to learn directly. They will show you the exploits, they will show you the tricks of the trade, how to really dominate with a lot of these champions, and how their playstyle affects it. So it's a really cool class. Actually, they're all really cool classes at LOL Class. Go ahead, check them out. You get some really good personal time and learn a lot about your favorite champions and your favorite pros.
And that's going to do it. We're going to head into a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, it's VVV taking on the guys from LOL Pro in a rematch from yesterday. We'll see who can take it home this time around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
say we will be here all day. We'll stay here till it's over. Till the world's out of sight, we will stand, we will fight. It's not over till it's over. As I fell to the ocean floor, fading light through an open door, I saw myself rise with the water. And they thought they could keep me down, hold their breath and watch me drown, but all they did was push me higher. We don't care what they say, we will be here all day. We'll stay until it's over, till the world's out of sight. We will stand, we will fight. It's not over till it's over. Through the nights in the rain, through the time and the pain, the stand will never fall. And then at the end of it all, we will win, we will chant. It's not over till it's over.
carrying coffins. I see is beautiful. The wonder takes my breath away. Nothing surrounding us will stay the same. And when I look into my soul, I feel something's about to change. It's growing stronger and it's taking a hold. I'm trying to
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to game number 2 of the night here at the North American Challenger League. It's like the Challenger North America. Yeah, it's hard. I'm rapping. I'm here with Studio, who's hopefully going to save me as we get in here to the rematch. LOL Pro taking on VVV in what will hopefully be a somewhat more even matchup than we saw yesterday.
There is no support Malphite, so that is already off the hit list for me. I think LOL Pro, they've got a really good team composition. Very standard, but all their lanes can be very aggressive, very dominant. Shyvana can beat Trundle, even if Trundle does have a lot of answers to some of what she does. Lee Sin, of course, can set up lots of ganks on an Italy mid, especially with Ziggs in the mid lane, who can also set up a lot in response as well. And of course, Annie, Caitlyn, that long-range, devastating lane, could both beat and lose to Lucian Thresh. Lucian Thresh being a very aggressive level 2 lane, but if Annie and Caitlyn start poking out, start pushing fast, they do not have a whole lot in terms of response to that.
And as we set up here for the level 1s, it's going to be interesting to me to watch what our 2 pretty big comfort picks work out as Jackie's, I want to say Veigar because he was picking it earlier on, but Jackie's Ziggs is going up against Peckinwolf's Nidalee. And while Jackie is always known for his Veigar, his Morgana, that's back in Season 2, and Season 4 is upon us, and he's picked up Ziggs and does some really, really cool stuff with him. So Peckinwolf as well, he's been a Nidalee main for as long as I can remember, so really knows that champion very, very well, and anytime you get to see comfort picks go up against one another, you know it's going to be an exciting matchup.
Yeah, I really want to see where Elise goes this game, just because against Snuggled, he had great presence last time they played yesterday, and since people have really stopped buying wards in the early game, level 2, level 3 ganks are a lot more viable. However, Elise is a champion you want to wait till level 3 generally. You also have the option of just farming it up, but Get Snuggled is an aggressive player. All the lanes are his for the pick, and really, Chris with his pillar and just his very high base damage from the early attack damage steal he will have from his Q, can very easily set up a kill onto Haunter in the top lane. And Nidalee's going to be trickier because of the spear not being that reliable, even with pillars at early levels, but I would also like to see Elise bot lane, just because Thresh Hook into an Elise Lantern into a very dead Annie is always a fun combo.
And while we don't see any sort of crazy early trading just yet, that's actually somewhat of a surprise to me, because that's what Jackie kind of made as his hallmark Ziggs play, is you go very, very super aggressive, you use your Ignite level 1, level 2, and you just do a bunch more damage than people really give you credit for. It's a nice way to pick him an early kill. But as safe as Peckinwolf's playing, it's going to just keep it a little bit less eventful for now. Bottom lane is substantially pushing in for LOL Pro. You can see that they've got that poke advantage, the range advantage, and should be just a little bit of a while until we see any sort of ganks come down bottom. That change back around. Level 2s hit at basically the same time for both bottom lanes, which is not something you see all that often.
Yeah, this is kind of a stalled out push from Lowpro. They're not pushing in super hard. They're not trying to deny minions right away. What they're going to do is have a really big minion wave hit the turret at the same time as they're trying to pressure it. So they'll actually a lot of damage in the mid lane. Jackie will be getting away, but almost dies to the Elise gank. But right now, that big minion wave bottom, it's going to build up and going to be very hard for Tabs to CS reliably if there's enough minions there to really kind of juke out and bait out the next wave. Because the next wave will show up, start damaging minions, put them in turret deny range, and, well, Tabs won't be able to get that CS.
Yeah, Tabs, I believe, the LCS player. Tails here.
Oh,
probably
yeah, my bad.
I mean, he does play very
it's
very
those
well.
It's those T's.
And they're both great AD carries, too. So, I don't know. I'm still a little bit upset that Tab switched from AP to AD carry just because his fizz was so good to watch. But Tails, the guy playing here and there, young Zing in the bottom lane, is looking to turn that back around. Or once again, keep in mind his performance yesterday. We talked about Chris and Peckinwolf specifically as they both had really standout games. But Tails just went off that game. He was dominating that bottom lane, never died for the first like 25-30 minutes of the game. And actually, it was like 20 minutes surrender too. So
yeah, that was I believe the fastest NACL game so far. As 20 minutes in, game immediately ended. And yeah, Tails played incredibly well. All of VVV yesterday was on point. And if they can show what they did yesterday again today, and if they can actually keep that up, they would be LCS caliber in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Just because the rotations, man, rotations.
One of the differences between this game and yesterday's games, besides just the team composition, wow, Tails taking a lot of damage, was that Get Snuggled walked into the jungle and killed the enemy jungler level 1. The other thing that we saw happen is Haunter, actually, or not Haunter, but Chris.
At least in the bot lane.
Yeah, he's going to go in there. The red buff is down there. Loho is going to go down. Oh, Flash in there. Does force that Flash out, but now you got to deal with Get Snuggled. Barely makes it out of there. Huge gank coming out there. Only one kill to come out from it, but still first blood going to BVV.
Yeah, that was a tight game for Get Snuggled. Almost dying. The Thresh Lantern actually put down where Elise was going to repel to, and it was not where she landed. It was not where she repelled from. She actually landed on a minion. So they timed that very well. She was going to take down to the Ignites, but good play all around from VVV. And this is a good way to punish that aggressive non-ward style of play that we're seeing nowadays where supports don't pick up early wards, and it's also a great way to punish a pushing Caitlyn Annie lane, because Annie, I love her, she's a great champion, great CC, great damage, no escape unfortunately, as is many supports. So good punishment from VVV. If they try that again on the side of Lowpro, Annie doesn't have flash this time, they can very easily secure it more and more in terms of kills.
Now we get Snuggled, he's back in the jungle, but it's about 6 minutes into the game, you're going to start to see those big buffs wear off. And so they may not be quite as impactful, or the junglers might not be quite as impactful as you'd expect. Top lane, one of the big hallmarks of the last time these teams faced off was Chris getting huge roams down onto the mid lane. This time it's going to be a gank from Lee Sin, but it doesn't look like it actually did anything as we are continuing to focus on things up top. Chris already level 6, and you can see I actually think he popped his ultimate, yeah, just to get that little bit of an aggressive advantage and start to put the pressure here onto Haunter. I don't think Haunter is too afraid of this. He's totally good with his Chris. Chris is fighting the minions.
Yeah, they are not even trying to damage each other. There's some convenient damage that happens to hit Chris from Shyvana. Actually, ultimate onto Chris right now. Going to pressure him, trying to send him back. They might be able to pick up a kill now.
The Ignite's down. Chris might be forced to flash here. He's going to try to kite things around the turret, but well played there by Chris. Didn't blow his flash. Did use Ignite. But no more turret shots to come down. Sonic Wave missing there for Heaven Time. Get Snuggled. Just kind of scouting things out.
Yeah, the big limitation for Chris is going to be the fact that Trundle is a mana champion. Unlike a lot of other top laners, he does depend on that mana for his resources. He will go through it very quickly if he's spamming out his bite, trying to keep his AD high and try to keep pressuring Shyvana in that sense. So it's not an easy lane if he has to spam out skills. So constant Shyvana pressure can really drain him, and he'll only last in lane for 2 or 3 minutes instead of, let's say, forever, like you expect a lot of top laners to. However, neither top laner has gone back to base yet. Chris sustaining from that Trundle passive gives him HP every time a minion dies. So a nice way to sustain is just be at your turret and last hit. And Shyvana, of course, just has a decent regeneration, had a lot more HP after that last fight. Already a giant spell for Shyvana. Chris should be going back to base soon. Very even in the top lane.
Now, Jackie read the blue buff steal a little bit incorrectly there. Used his ultimate, wasn't able to steal it away, but still, it's going to be blue buff back for both mid laners. Let's just take Peckinwolf a little bit longer to take that one down. Now, keep in mind, Haunter's got 2 trips back to base under his belt right now, under his Giant's belt, let's put it that way, as he does have that in Double Doran's items. Chris still looking to head back himself, and he is going to lose some CS at turret just because, hey, he needs some mana, and out of that and out of items, he needs to go back to base and pick those up, even in CS though, so at least that's working out.
Yeah, there's actually a gold lead in favor now of VVV. Not massive, but it's just off a little bit of CS across the lanes. Elise has a little bit more in terms of jungle farm. The lanes are very even for the most part, so this could also be some gold regeneration on Gonti in the bot lane. It's kind of weird to see such a big lead after really not all that much difference in terms of farm. Question is going to be, what will that convert into? We already have a BF sword on Lucian in the bot lane, but that's already being matched up by LOD's BF sword on Caitlyn. So both bot laners, both carries are getting very strong, very, very damaging. So we might see a lot more burst combos come out. Annie and Caitlyn combined have great synergy, great bursts. And of course, Lucian and Thresh, it's more sustained, but definitely effective, as someone will be chased out the top lane.
And Peckinwolf very, very low there in the mid. Keeps getting hit there with Sonic Waves, but Eventime's not quite all about the diving lifestyle. He doesn't have his cap. He forgot and left his swim trunks at home. Not going diving just yet. So we'll have to look for some pressure elsewhere on the map, but it looks like he's just shoving this mid lane. And with the Ziggs, like, I don't think he needs any help putting pressure on a turret, but man, taking that turret down very, very low, and does force Get Snuggled to come out of the jungle, help get that wave clear going on.
Now, I really like that push, because even though Ziggs doesn't need that much help, now with Lee Sin in the area, if there's a mistake from Nidalee, Peckinwolf goes down, very easily picked up and dies. And it's a great way to apply pressure, because Elise, she has some good counter push with her spiraling. The volatile spiraling has great damage. That's not that effective. Flash comes out from Gonti. It looked like away from the fight. Might have been a mistake. Didn't really accomplish a whole lot, unfortunately. But now Peckinwolf going aggressive in the mid lane.
Oh, does go in there. Nice cocoon on Heaven Time, but wow, that was a barrier forced out. A spear. Oh my gosh, it's so close, but the big play there was Get Snuggled really repelling most of the damage coming out, because he almost died.
Yeah, had that bomb hit him. Even if he had repelled, there was nowhere for him to repel to. Could have very easily gotten blown up. Flash comes out from Andy onto Gonti. Will he survive? The Lantern is not enough. LOD's got them snipes.
Man, yeah, it's just so much burst damage almost out of nowhere. I guess it is out of nowhere. Tibbers, well, he's there. He's just a tiny teddy bear.
But the tiny teddy bear does not do a whole lot of damage. Annie's base auto attack is
if
pretty
Annie
bad.
threw tiny bears at people, that would be so adorable. But instead, she's got a big one. He's rumbling his way up towards the dragon. I would say he's trundling his way there, but I think the troll in the top lane's got that one on lock. And speaking of on lock, it looks like LOL Pro gonna take down the first dragon of the game. Snuggle is in the area, gonna go in here for the steal. Actually, just turns it back around and Lee Sin Heaven Time gets the smite there on that dragon. Now Tails and Get Snuggled, they're trying to put on as much pressure as they can, but they're 2v4 and no support from the rest of their team, because the reason that was a good Baron for LOL Pro, everybody else from DVB is back in base.
Yeah, 2v4, but no mana on Jackie. Enough for a couple spells, no mana on Annie, very little mana on LOD, just no real way to actually fight off with spells. It was going to be auto attacks for the most part, which is not how you want to fight, even in a 2v4. Nidalee could have shown up and actually gone for the snipes, but a great push coming on to mid turret now. Heaven Time very low in the mid lane, dodges out a spear. They can try and take this trip, but the wave clear might be enough. Ziggs has enough for a minefield that should clear it out and stop the push for at least a few more seconds.
Yeah, just barely enough wave clear to keep that turret from going down, and that will be enough for a recall. At least half of LOL Pros to head back to base, but you can see Peckinwolf, he's stopping them just by being a presence. That force for Nidalee spears, you can't go back to base because you're just going to get speared out there, and so it actually even forces the Mega Inferno Bomb out just to be used to clear out that wave just a little bit more. You see Chris starting to lose those trades up top lane. Does still have his ult if he wants to turn things right back around, but it's actually starting to go really far in favor of Haunter. It's going to be the Ignite down, stop a little bit of that healing, as Chris will be forced way back to base, or back to turret, probably back to base here in just a little bit. The Subjugate, keeping him in that lane, but just barely keeping him alive.
It's always fun watching those little HP ticks pop up every time he gets the last hit, but the mid turret does go down. VVV, they take a while for that one, but with a Ziggs in the minefield, the Ziggs ultimate being used to try and stop that push, definitely had to fight through a lot. And getting a turret, especially mid turret, is worth quite a lot this game. This means Peckinwolf can now try and push up, roam to other lanes such as bot or top, and just go for those spear snipes, try and set up a lot of kills. Chris in the top lane being backed up by Get Snuggled. Get Snuggled though, he's the only one with a lot of HP. Chris really can't go all in for this.
I mean, Chris is there, but there's no Ignite from Haunter. He's actually going to counter Ignite on the dragon, but he doesn't have any mana, doesn't have any health, and he doesn't have his ult either for some additional damage and tankiness. So that was a little bit of a mistimed gank, as Chris was already a little bit out of the fight.
Well, mistimed, but at least they get some time for Chris to farm up there instead of just being pressured by Shyvana, but that does cost them the mid turret. Because, well, Ziggs is good at stopping pushes, he's great at pushing himself. If there's a Lee Sin backing him up, as Nidalee, you can't really hold that reliably 2v1 unless Lee Sin goes in on one of the bad resonating strikes. Regardless, still even across the map, only a 500 gold lead in favor of Lowpro, even in kills. Even in turrets, only one dragon giving Lowpro a slight advantage of gold. And even then, it's just a little bit of difference in CS that's keeping VVV just a tiny bit ahead. It's Elise gold versus Elise in gold. When it's only a jungler's gold in difference, that is very, very just marginal.
And it's 1-1 too, so you can see there's only a few gold separating both of these teams. Much more even matchup tonight than yesterday. This is what I hoped yesterday's matchup between these two teams was going to be like, but not the way it turned out. So I'm actually really excited to see both of these teams facing off in what a match that's going so evenly, because coming into the Season 2 of NACL, I really expected both of these teams to be towards the upper middle of the pack, and really didn't get a chance to see them play too much until yesterday, and really wasn't an accurate judge of the team's skills.
VVV had like 14 kills up on Lowpro at this point, and it was just growing at that point. Lee Sin will kick out Nidalee, no chance. That's a great decision because Nidalee can very easily position in front of Lee Sin, make it hard for him to escape, and just kick him forward.
Oh, but Timber's going down there in the bottom lane, little bit too close for comfort there. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in as well, and Jackie's all of a sudden down in that bottom lane. Now Get Snuggle is going to go in on Eventime, forces that flash out, does have the repel, and all it's going to do is take a little bit more damage. It's the Neurotoxin to pick up the kill.
We might have a turret trades going on. Bot turret goes down. Will they be able to push in mid in time for VVV? As Hanser now trying to cut the minion wave. Dueling versus Chris in the top lane. Action all over the place. That tier 2 mid is going to be worth a lot more than that tier 1 bot. So if VVV picks up this, they get A, kill, B, more turret gold, and of course the more important turret with that mid. So it looks like it'll go down just enough from the very, very low damage from Elise and Nidalee. No one really has enough AP to make them great pushers at this point. But the VV, they have the map control. What's Peck and Wolf going to do with this? Normally, with the mid turret down, you would just roam already, but they've got 2 mid turrets down. All of the map is now easily accessible for VVV.
Yeah, it's mid turret, very, very important. Why stop at 1? Take a second, and it's not the kills you get, it's what you do with them. And just off of only killing Eventime, that's a secondary mid turret. Jackie was down bottom, helping push that trade turrets off. But hey, I'd trade an outer turret for a second tier turret any day of the week.
Top lane, the wet noodle fight goes on. Chris, though, his noodle, unfortunately, not working quite that well. Hanser trying to go ahead and
there
too.
He's got the stun. He's actually going to take things up. Gets slowed out. There's the stun to come down. Ignite is down as well. Subjugate gives Chris just barely enough healing to escape that fight. And he's actually going to stay around here. He needs some jungle help, but there's actually Peck and Wolf coming in from behind. We'll have to see if he can get any action down because he's being flanked by Eventime. And oh, Peck and Wolf, how do you get out of this one? He's got some extra move speed, but he's going to hop his way out. A nice pillar, but it's behind, not in front. The Mega Inferno Bomb down as well, and Chris now going to be forced to flash out. He's so low, but Jackie's got the snipes there. Those bouncing bombs bounce in the right direction. Looks like Chris is all wet from the water balloons. Jackie's throwing out, picking himself up his first kill of the game, but very, very big because that means an outer turret as well.
Yeah, 2 kills, a lot of gold now going towards Lowpro. Dragon up in 10 seconds as well. They might rotate towards it, might just go ahead by and immediately rush it as soon as Chris and Peck and Wolf spawn. Both sides should be able to meet up there in time. But that was amazing play from Chris because he used the ultimate, he used his Way of the Rune King to make it so Annie could A, not chase him down, B, when Annie went for the dive, popped off Molten Shield, that just gave Chris more tankiness. He survived for so long, but unfortunately Peck and Wolf, he walked into what he thought would be a great cleanup fight, and it almost was. Shyvana was low. Annie was low. Lee Sin and Ziggs, however, were A-OK, perfectly fine fighting that 4v1.
Yeah, set it so on to Lod. He's going to get pulled right back into a cocoon. That chain CC just ridiculous, and VVV will now set up for a dragon. Jackie's here too, and he's doing a good job at dodging away from those spears. Chris wants to start the fight, will start it off, going in on to Hanser. He's going to pop that Subjugate just to make himself so tanky. Jackie's going to be running away from a very big Trundle, but everybody grouping her up around VVV as Peck and Wolf snipes out Hanser. Laud died way too early, and Hanser now dead as well. It's only going to be up to Eventime to steal this dragon from VVV.
I mean, Laud's got the Bloodthirster. He's going to be a lot of the physical damage. Actually, most of it right now, as Lee Sin has built Tanky Gon for the Ancient Golem rather than the Elder Lizard, which has been a little bit more common lately. But because Caitlyn was dead, they had no kite damage. They only had Ziggs, and Ziggs, he does decent damage now, but he's an AP carry that you need the Athenes, you need a Death Cap, you need a little bit more. Oh, Lee Sin does not get the dragon, does get on out of there. Initiation coming in from LOH on the side. Can't really pick anything up. Will dodge the spears. Is
Oh,
this
ace
gonna
in
happen?
the-
Is this fight breaking out?
Okay, ace in the hole was blocked there. Would have been enough to pick up the kill on Nagansi. I don't know. He had the shield from that dark passageway up, so might have been close. But even still, the Dragon for VVV, they get the objective. But they aren't even up in gold that much. They're only up by 400. And this is just because the extra tower really evening that out. And feels actually pretty even as well. You're starting to see a little bit of an imbalance there on Peckinwolf's Nidalee. And I kind of expected that just because he's so good at playing Nidalee. Maybe not super aggressively, but he always knows when to push his advantages. And he did so. 2 kills coming his way. Jackie's got a kill on the board too.
Yeah, this is an incredibly close matchup. Even though there's a turret for one side, that kill that kind of evens out the gold. Hanser up top lane doesn't have the ultimate. Chris going a little bit aggressive. He went for an early Blade of the Rune King, which is an effective build. However, Trundle is mostly physical damage. His ultimate will be magic, I believe, but it's not that impactful for Shyvana. So because he went physical, that Sunfire Cape is really kind of hampering Chris's survivability in the lane. Now that he does have the Negatron Cloak, though, he can go ahead and build tanky himself. Maybe see a Spirit Visage come out of him. It is very effective on Trundle, and actually Hanser now going for the long-term duel. Chris taking a lot of damage.
And you can see Hanser's playing that very, very carefully because all he's waiting for is that Subjugate ult to come out. As soon as Chris ults, he has to fight. Oh, a Cocoon onto low, though. Oh, the Spear at long range. Built up for Peacemakers is actually landing more than Spears so far. So for as much hype as I've given Peckinwolf, he needs those Spears to start landing.
There we go. Little Spear.
Right.
Not too long a range. Well, Peckinwolf, he needs a little bit more AP as well. He has almost Athenes. He does have a large rod, so he might be going for the death cap, or just he wanted the raw AP for the large rod early. As bot turret does go down, Chris, though, he's going to make some friends in a second.
Yeah, Hanser's going to get that all in. There's Subjugate down and just keep him as tanky as possible, but too much damage too quickly. A Flay into a box, and Hanser's going to go ahead and get himself out of there as fast as he possibly can. The chase not going to come out here as it just needs some wave clear. Great dive going out from LOL Pro, and really, Low didn't even tank all that much up. All the damage went on to Hanser. He got out alive. Death Sentence, though, onto Jackie now, and another perfect Flay Tails taking out Jackie, and now the dive will trade out 2 for 2 in the end. Another Spear missing. Peckinwolf's got that blue buff. He's going to be able to pounce his way through onto another Spear. Misses that one. He is just marauding out here from behind. If he gets turned on, he's going to die, but does need to land these Spears one after another. Counter play not going to come in there. Oh, the flash, the Death Sentence lands again. Gonzi all game long's been hitting those and making them, I guess, live up to their name.
Yeah, God, he's got the blades, he's got the hooks, he's got all he needs to secure these kills. Actually chasing Hanser out of the top lane. Lee Sin, he's getting flashed.
Oh my God, Tails!
I mean, Lee Sin was caught blind for a moment there. That was just, he must have been looking at the shop. We saw this happen yesterday with a Ziggs ultimate, actually. Just someone caught looking at the shop. Might have been LOD, and this got blown up by a Ziggs bomb, so.
Yeah, it was at the very end of that game. It was Peckinwolf that threw it all the way down there and had a great Ziggs game. But now, oh, Low, he's going to get forced out of the jungle. The Spears just continue to come out. Even if they're not landing, it's still putting on pressure.
He's not leading his targets that much, and some of the shots have just been out of range. Like going for the long-term chases, it can be hard to land a spear when you're trying to get it from the max distance. You'll be just out of pixel range. However, some of the spears just aren't being led. This can happen when he's trying to play a mind game, and it's either a mind game from Lowpro or just they're not even trying to play the same style. Where LOH, if he jukes to the side, he can dodge a spear, so instead of aiming to the side, Peckinwolf might try to aim directly at him. So that way, Peckinwolf, he won't try and juke, expecting the spear to be to the side. And it's this weird game theory thing type going on. However, if you make the wrong gamble, you end up missing. It looks a little bit silly. However, Peckinwolf, he's trying to catch him out, and they're either playing a different game in terms of trying to dodge, or they're not even trying to dodge, and it's just not working out for him.
So continuing the push up in the mid lane, I recently got some feedback that said, hey, if nothing's happening, you don't always have to say something. This is where we're supposed to share things like anecdotes about the players or other funny things that are happening, but I don't know. I don't have too many of those. The biggest thing that we've been talking about all game long is that this is, in fact, a rematch from yesterday. And while yesterday's match was somewhat more one-sided, it's nice to see stronger individual players. But there are some consistencies between yesterday's games and this one. 4-0-2. Tails just having an incredible game, just like he did last game. This time, he's not going up against the Sword Malphite, but he's still getting the job done.
Yeah, he didn't get as many kills early game, but he's all about the cleanup, and that's something Lucian is incredibly effective at. He's showing up at team fights at the right moment. And if you look at his farm, he has a slight lead over LOD in the bot lane, and that's kind of reflecting what he's been doing. He will push, he will split push as much as possible, but the second a team fight's going to break out, he's already rotating, already on his way there. And even if he doesn't show up the first second, he's there to follow up when the amazing plays come out from Gonti. When someone lands a death sentence, when the Trundle Pillar comes out, he's there to back up his team. However, he's really close to a lot of the enemy team right now. There are some good escapes on Lucian. We do not have Trundle in the area. Shyvana is also towards the top part of the map, but might see an initiation come out from Annie. LOH is going to be the big initiator here. He lands a Tibbers. He can land so much more follow-up for Jackie to secure, for LOD to secure with Piltover Peacemaker. There's a lot of really good burst when a Tibbers does go down, and the trap has been set. Will it be sprung, though? No.
Man. Okay.
No, it will not.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of mystery here. It's just like, well, you guys can take Baron if you want, but there's this whole base thing. Kill Baron, you get stronger. Kill your base, you get a win. So a nice flank, though, coming up from behind. You can see that LOL Pro are actually, they have a very good position here to engage from, but they have to avoid because the spear. What on earth am I watching Peckinwolf? He's been missing spears all game. Hits it when it counts.
Yeah, hits the one spear. That was the culling follow-up into a spear. Great poke, great range. They could not even see the champions that were killing them. And now they're down their main initiator. Here comes Trundle. They can set up so much with this fight.
Oh, and they already have the slowdown there. Heaventime's forced to flash out. He's just going to get pounced on and trying to run away there from Chris. Does get that Tempest crippled down, but I'm not sure he can run far enough. Where's that pillar cooldown? He's going to get that safeguard off and dive in that turret. Not what you want to do. They're in between turrets now for VVV and really won't be able to accomplish all that much. So, I mean, I got to say, great job from Heaventime getting low and then drawing off VVV so that they couldn't go for that big push that was kind of the order of the hour.
I mean, it does stop the push. Dragon will be secured by VVV. I guess they're worried about pushing up to the turret. They did not know where Jackie was, as he'd already retreated to the jungle where he was not spotted out. But they did see his minefield. So it can be dangerous to walk into a Ziggs, into the enemy inhibitor turret if they have Ziggs, because you're dealing with minefield, the bouncing bombs, you don't have vision on them. Very dangerous, very risky. So they played safe, just going for the chase on to Heaventime. Could not secure him, though. As Lee Sin, he's a slippery champion. And they have a 4.5k gold lead over on VVV, but they're going to have so much trouble going for the hard pushes. Look for a lot more objective control. Look for a lot more Baron play. That's why they went so hard with that last push when LOL Pro was trying to bait out the Baron. They saw them going into the Baron pit, and more importantly, VVV, they have very few chances to push against Caitlyn, Ziggs, and even Shyvana with Flame Breath is great at clearing waves. So they got to push when they find a chance, and they've really been exploiting that.
Oh my! All right,
that's solid.
Half health on Jackie. He's gonna have to work on that. Keep in mind, he has actually a lot of magic resistance for a mid laner. When you go for that Chalice build, it really keeps you safe and sound early on. But with a Death Cap completed for Peckinwolf, and I'm not sure if Jackie's gonna be going for a Void Staff first. That's the items he has, but. Might just be saving. All right, there's Needlessly Large Rod.
There is the trifecta. He bought what he could when he had the gold.
Right.
Death Cap will give a little bit more for him, though he will be less effective versus Chris. Void Staff will be his third item most likely, but you really need a lot of items. Well, you need Athene's Death Cap to really have the base Ziggs blow you up style of damage. And once he finishes that up, he can try and combo someone like Tails down in the bot lane, well, not the bot lane, but Tails from the bot lane. If someone else gets, let's say, a Dragon's Ascent or a Tibbers onto him, he can combo that up, blow them up very quickly, but he needs that AP first. He needs to have the damage to really follow up.
Yeah, Void Staffs, you'd expect them to be the third item, and then you look on Peckinwolf, and he's just like, or I could buy another Needlessly Large Rod. And so Peckinwolf and I, we like to think similarly. You just build more damage. Needlessly Large Rods also pretty good items.
Who's got AP? Or who's got magic resist? There's very little magic resist over on LOL Pro.
Monster build armor. You've got armor in the jungle. You've got a little magic resistance in the middle lane, but yeah, like you said, there's nothing out there. There's no reason to build penetration unless you actually need it.
It's weird to say a Haunting Guise would actually be incredibly efficient right now. Not for the long term. That's probably why Peckinwolf won't go for it.
Right.
But, I mean, he's got the AP. He's going to go for the straight-up Zonias, which will make his Spears just devastating, as they do provide a lot of AP on the item.
Some bomb harass over the wall, but it's just not really landing yet. And while spears aren't landing as well, all it takes is one spear before you really have to back out.
All right,
Here comes Chris. And Chris is right there. He just throws down the Blade of the Ruined King active into Subjugate. And well, it's a very aptly named Subjugate, and he takes it down low. Gonti's going to die here, and it's actually a relatively even fight, but gets snuggled, gets out alive, and oh, Peckinwolf, he's on the hunt. Spear coming out there, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Lod goes down, and Heaven Time's
Nothing
on
he
the
could
run.
have done. Heaven Time will make it out. He is a Lee Sin, but they don't care about Lee Sin. They went for the chase last
Like,
time.
where do you go? It's you can't run. There's just too
You're
much
running
chase.
from a Ziggs into a Nidalee. Like, Nidalee can already kill you from range. She can chase you if she needed to. Mid-turret will go down. Inhibitor should definitely go down. I mean, this is Peckinwolf. Like you said, he wasn't landing spears early. He got the trigger. He got the aim. He found the 1 or 2 spears actually onto LOH to really secure these kills. And now, mid-inhibitor down. And VVV looking incredibly solid. Now 7k ahead. They can start going for the Baron baits. They've secured the kill that they need to really start this game up one more time for them. So Nidalee is going to be even more devastating. She's going to go back to base. She picked up a lot of kills in that last fight. Let me check how much gold she has in her coffers right now. It's going to be 1,300, so not enough to finish up. Actually, it might be just enough to finish up Azonia's. They're going to be a little bit short. They can farm up, finish up Azonia's if they want to, go for a Void Staff, or they can start sieging more and more turrets, because with the inhibitor pushing in, it's going to be hard for them to hold top lane. They can't just keep Ziggs up there, and Caitlyn as well. One of them will have to go ahead and defend the mid Nexus turrets, and this is really VVV's chance to make huge power plays. Because if they have the enemy team now sieged up at their turret, and those spears are landing like they've started to, Lowpro, they're on a clock before one of those spears sets up another kill. And actually, Chris goes in with the culling.
Oh, and there's the perfect fully channeled culling out there, and even a flash in. Tails is unstoppable, and now Haunter is in a 1v2. Does he have what it takes here? Very, very tanky. Goes for the all-in on to get Snuggle, but Tails is right there at the end, forces Haunter to flash over the wall, and actually Chris coming around from behind looking for the flank, but won't quite find it. There's a pillar out there. It pushes Haunter away from the turret. Now Chris is going to have that frozen domain. There's going to be the Blade of the Ruined King into Subjugates. All she wrote. Chris, finally, at long last, 30 minutes into the game, that's all it takes to take him out. Now the tank line being fairly compromised here, and with 2 men down.
Spear not even needed.
Yeah, it's
there goes
like,
Baron. That was, I mean, Lowpro, they're leaving their base, but they could not because of the spears, because of the initiation. Trundle not only sets up spears, he sets up team fights. And the culling, that was out of nowhere. No one expects the culling to do that much damage, but once you get to late game, it does a lot per shot. The attack speed is incredibly effective on it, and it's a great skill if you can get the shots off, which, well, Tails, he got him. He aimed the culling and actually landed it, which is very difficult to do. So
Yeah.
now, with this 11k gold lead, with that top turret going down, Tails able to secure culling kills onto Ziggs.
And when you're at that point, it starts to get a little bit
You gotta
scary.
feel good. You gotta feel like you're in control as VVV right now.
I mean, you're 5-0-5 on your
yeah.
AD carry, 6-1-5 on your AP carry, and with tanky tanks in the top end jungle, it's just it's a picture-perfect team comp. You've got tanks in front, you've got a support that can speed up and has a lot of crowd control, and that just gives you plenty of peel for carries that are incredibly damaging. I don't know, it's basically the same kind of idea from LoL Pro. They just aren't as ahead in those different carry departments, especially when you look at Jackie. 1 and 3 just bought his death cap, and it's a good thing, but no penetration to get through the incredible tank stats. A Negatron cloak now picked up for Tails even, so...
Which is just going to make Trundle tankier. Like, that's the ironic thing. If they build tanky, Chris will just get even stronger. Oh, yeah, Tails. He's a Haunter, but Chris in the top lane trying to escape a lot of people. I mean, he's a fast troll, but I don't think he's got this.
Yeah, there's sometimes you troll too hard, and then you just... You never go...
Well, you troll long enough for your team to take a bot turret, though.
Yeah, it looks like he got execute trolled there. So getting taken out, and now the push down bottom lane. BBB just doesn't stop pushing. They're like, hey, if you want to send your entire team to chase Chris up top lane, we're just going to take your buffs. We're going to take your turrets. We're going to take everything that you have that's not outside your base, and even taking a little bit that's inside the base with the first inhibitor down there. Probably should take a trip back to base, as they're all sitting on about 1,000 gold. You got on Get Snuggled and Tails. Actually, no, just going for the group. They're going to make the most out of this Baron buff.
Yeah, they have a lot of umph, a lot of power. They want to try and crack that mid inhibitor one more time because it should be up soon, as the call has already come out in chat, so about 10 or so seconds and we'll be back up. If Ziggs can get more momentum, if they can go ahead and start setting up some good offensive sieges, then the game will be immediately reversed. The problem for Lowpro is that they're just really far behind, and that they're dealing with such a strong Nidalee. But if they start setting up some sieges, if Nidalee can't land those spears, they can very easily come back this game. When it comes to poke teams, no team is really secure until they take the Nexus, just because poke, as strong as it is, you have to land it, and poke is definitely slower than other skills. You know, bouncing bombs, dodgeable, same thing with Nidalee spears. If they do get that one pick off, if they do start pressing towards VVV, the pressure can reverse. We might see the Jackie reversal.
And this is a perfect pick comp. You got Trundle pillars to set up for spears, set up for cocoons, set up for death sentences, and to make the culling a lot easier to land. Oh my lord! Good lord! He's gonna have to get his way back to base with about 20 health left. All it takes is one spear. Ziggs is kind of the same idea as Nidalee, but he's more about killing minions, more about some area of effect damage, whereas Nidalee, all it takes is that one spear. The culling coming out. Peckinwhoop now godlike. It's 7, 1, and 5, and VVV having taken out that middle inhibitor, now turning their sights towards that bottom lane.
Yeah, they've got the pressure. They've got the initiation. Taking the turret might be a little bit dangerous. However, Chris is beefy as all hell, so they could stick with it if they wanted to. No, Heaven Time's nice. Not going to be the crux of Low Pro, but he can definitely, without him there's a lot of disengage gone. There's a lot of ways to counter-initiate gone. So Tails and the rest of BBB going to go ahead, seed up the bot lane. Heaven Time up in 10, but the turret should go down by then unless we see initiation.
Oh my
Jackie! Where'd you go?
Jackie,
that HP
please!
is gone.
Okay, the Mega Inferno Bomb still allows him to be effective as he does clear out those minions at the turret. Nice Lantern taken there. Always looks weird when Trundle takes Lanterns because he's like this huge troll and he's carrying this giant like tree branch with him. It's just like, I'm going to move at 1200 move speed in that
Just
direction.
flying through the sky, no walking animation, of course, because he's not walking, he's flying. And
Trolls can fly.
yes, they can. It's a beautiful sight.
Yeah, I learned.
That bot turret, I mean, there's a lot of members low on VVV. Well, Nidalee healed them all, actually, so they're all perfectly fine. LOH getting chased out by the calling.
Oh, the spear just catches him! Oh my. Where are you safe? The answer is nowhere. The spears, they're heat-seeking right now, and when you're carrying bombs in your back, you're just like extra hot and don't want to be standing anywhere near. There's Ace in the hole coming out. Chris just going to take that one down, deflects it off the bat. He's like, home run right back at you. There's the all-in. He gets super tanky with a subjugate on the Haunter and continues that dive there. You just can't deal damage to that guy anymore. So ridiculously strong, but he stays taking up the turret. A nice Dragon's Rage there. It's a double kill for Haunter. He's actually single-handedly turning this team fight around. It's a triple. He's looking for the Quadra there, but gets snuggled. Will flash away into the cocoon behind. Still running away with the extra move speed from Spider Form. Will he be able to make it out alive? There's a little bit more things you could be doing with your life other than just chasing out, get snuggled, but looks like the snuggling will complete as Jackie's going to have some damage. An ace from LOL Pro off of a somewhat misguided dive coming out from BBB.
Well, the bot turret is still alive, and that's what killed everybody. Chris tanked the turret for a good 6 or 7 seconds as all of LOL Pro whomped on him, and that's what killed him.
Why do you dive there? Like,
I'm expecting Chris thought the rest of VVV would focus down the turret, and they could just follow up for the dive, but they didn't. They ignored the turret. It almost died. They attacked it for a couple seconds, then split up, lost their focus. Now, all of a sudden, LOL Pro, they have an ace. They're behind by 5 kills, 10,000 gold. They're still not in this quite yet. But they're taking the map back, won't take an objective, but at least got a little bit of control. So LOL Pro, even if it takes a turret attacking someone for 6 or 7 seconds, they do have ways to fight back. They just need to go ahead, bait out that poke, bait out the initiation.
And if you had to pick a time to come back in the game, minute left to Baron is a good time to do it. Heaven Time taken down pretty low, and Jackie's pretty low as well, bounces himself back out of there. With the Lantern right onto some bombs, and maybe not where Chris wanted to wind up, but Dragon's up 30 seconds Dragon, 30 seconds Baron too. Oh, Heaven Time. Heaven Time's on the run. He's behind enemy lines, and we'll have to see if it's his time just yet. The culling to come out, and Heaven
He is wasting as much time as he possibly can.
That's not your base. I think he's...
You know what? Elise and Thresh are running towards him. They're not pushing out. Chris has abandoned the chase, it seems, just not really caring at this point. Is he going to
get the execute here? He actually does! He shields up the damage. When you take shielded damage, it doesn't actually count towards kill credit.
I believe for a while, like, boots mobility aren't broken by it if you have the shield up kind of like the same way. So it's just like you're not in combat effectively. However, he's dead. Baron's up. This is not a good math equation for...
Yeah, if you had to pick a time to have
Pro.
your jungler dead, this is probably not a good one. And so BBV, they're going to walk on it. And I mean, Ziggs has some steal potential there. So Jackie, it's going to be up to you. And if he's got what it takes, then sure, go for it. But it looks like the smite's a little bit too strong there. Gets snuggled, takes some damage. But now Haunter could actually go down as well. Dragon's Descent over the wall. And Knight will follow him there. But no kills coming out just yet. And it's the second Baron of the game here for VVV.
Second Baron, second time to pressure this. I think we'll see less dives on that bot turret. Jackie, though, being chased down by the cat.
The spear max range! My good sweet. Well, it's not Law at that time, but Jackie getting speared out there and just Peckinwhoop. An incredible game. No longer godlike or legendary, but sitting at 9-2. It's still a pretty good score. And Man, just the culling to come out as well. That time it catches mostly Law. Death Sentence catches him as well. There's the box. Perfect walls out there. Gonsi taking a little bit low, but this time VVV do kill the turret. The engage though, Gonsi going very, very low. Heaven Time comes back from the dead, but goes right back down as he does find a kill on the Gonsi. Now the counter engage there on to Hauntzer. Laud in the back does have a lot of damage left to give, but the dives through the turret, is that really what you want to go for? Tails sniping down low down there. He's mad that he couldn't have the cuddling lane this time, so has to kill out Annie. Takes her down, and with the second inhibitor of the game falling there, VVV one step closer to victory.
Yeah, haven't quite secured the game yet. Nexus will still stand as LOD and Haunter is still very, very strong right now. Back full on HP. And these fights are really odd when they break out because you expect, ahead by 13,000 gold at this point, the VVV would just kind of roll over Lowpro. They would have no chance whatsoever. But what's happening is they don't have that much initiation damage. Once the fight breaks out, Peckinwolf can't land a spear reliably, and it's making the fight oddly balanced in favor of Lowpro. They still lose the fight, of course, but they're a lot closer, a lot tighter. They're picking up kills. They still have a chance, and Lowpro knows this. That's why the surrender vote has not come out yet. So VVV, if they initiate hard, they might want to get caught out underneath the turret, or we might see the Ziggs kite come out and a one fight for them. But still, though, this is VVV. They're geared up. They're set up. They're going to go ahead, trundle on towards that top lane, take out the outer turret, which has not been their focus. Those top turrets have survived for a long time. The second one went down, like 20 minutes into the game after they dove past it twice. But they're finally going to go for the top lane turrets. This is going to be the hard siege for Lowpro. How can they survive this? If a Nidalee Spear hits anyone important, down goes the inhibitor turret, down goes the inhibitor, and there goes the game most likely. So it's all about Peckinwolf. If you can land that one big spear, look for that backup from Chris trying to slow people down so it sets it up reliably, then that might be game.
Well, the thing is that there's no defensive stats on either carry for LOL Pro, so if they get hit by a spear, they're going down, and as the offense continues there on Nidalee, there's that haunting guys you were talking about actually for both AP carries. So just looking for a lot of effective combat stats here, maximum penetration coming in, and
that was a close spear onto LOH, almost knocking him down. It probably would not have one-shot him, but would have been close.
I'm going to keep an eye out on these spears coming in, because with Trundle Pillars especially, it just sets up so well for any of the catch potential. You got spears, death sentences, you got, there's a nice pillar there from behind. Haunter's going to get culled there and taking down about half health off of a super tanky tank. That's pretty impressive damage there. Tails takes a little bit of extra damage, but he's actually just going to tank up that turret and rely on some lifesteal. Does have to watch out for getting taken low.
Well, he's got lifesteal, he's got Nidalee healing as well.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
With the ultimate down from Ziggs, there is no extra wave clear. Down goes this top turret, down goes the inhibitor in a couple seconds. All three inhibitors down. This is going to be the big push for
Low takes the spear, just gets blown up before the fight even starts. Law going to try to kite away, but he just can't run far enough. And with one kill after another, a double for Chris to finish things off. There is finally the shutdown on a Haunter after his rampage through the last team fight. Nexus turret's now going to get DPS. The GG is starting to come out here, and VVV, they started off at like 1-3, now they're actually 4-3, just going positive.
They're positive now, yeah.
Second win in a row over LOL Pro. They've seen brighter days, but it does look like this is going to be a pretty bright day to be VVV. So if you guys believe VVV this entire time, then congratulations to you. Chris is going to troll there on the fountain, appropriate as he is playing Trundle, and that's the victory. LOL Pro falling 15 to 24 kills there. Got to give it a shout out. Standout performance from Peckinwolf. Finishes the game 10-2 and had some of the scariest spears. They killed champions. They probably killed you guys' ears too, because I was pretty excited about that. But hey, that's why we watch League of Legends, because it's a pretty good game, Studio. It's
a pretty solid game. And you know what? That wasn't Lowpro playing poorly, which you could make an argument they weren't up to snuff yesterday. But Lowpro played well. They had a lot of good breakout moments. They just could not secure versus some of Peckinwolf's plays versus VVV's just moving across the map. They're looking really solid, VVV. They can take this. Before, maybe they'll do okay. But I want to see them versus LMQ. Now, I want to see them versus Cloud9 HyperX Tempest, because we got some strong teams coming up, and they're just everybody's getting better. But with that, we've seen Team Lowpro versus VVV. VVV taking that win. Now we've got Super Team NA going up against Curse Academy. A very hype match. Super Team NA, unfortunately, have not won a game yet, but they're getting there. Maybe, just maybe, this will be the chance. So with that, we'll take a break here at the North American Challenger League, and we'll see you guys in a bit.